Plum Island audio stop number 17, Wickies. Hello, this is Karen Ellery of the Friends of Plum and Pilot Islands, here to tell you about Wickies. That's what lighthouse keepers were called because a big part of their job was to trim wicks in the lighthouse lamps. Once the lamps were lit, wicks had to be trimmed every 4 hours to prevent burnt ends from leaving smoke and soot on the glass lens. And that was only the start of the job list. Wickies were on call 24/7. They had to carry oil for the lamp up the steps of the lighthouse as many as 3 times in an 8-hour shift. They had to faithfully and completely follow the United Lighthouse Service's instructions to the keepers of lighthouses. The 1835 edition detailed the following duties. Number 1. You are to light the lamps every evening at sun setting and keep them continually burning bright and clear till sun rising. Number 2. You are to be careful that the lamps, reflectors, and lanterns are constantly kept clean and in order, and particularly to be careful that no lamps, wood, or candles be left burning anywhere so as to endanger fire. Number 3. In order to maintain the greatest degree of light during the night, the wicks are to be trimmed every 4 hours, taking care that they are exactly even on the top. Number 4. You are to keep an exact account of the quantity of oil received from time to time, the number of gallons, quarts, and gills consumed each night, and deliver a copy of the same to the superintendent every 3 months. Number 5. You are not to sell or permit to be sold any spirituous liquors on the premises. Number 6. You will not absent yourself from the lighthouse at any time without first obtaining the consent of the superintendent. Meanwhile, Wickies also had to monitor vessel traffic, respond in emergencies by lending a hand to ships and sailors in distress, monitor weather and water conditions, maintain a daily expense log, clean, paint, and repair all buildings, maintain all mechanical equipment, operate and maintain the light station boat, weed walkways and maintain the grounds, clean the boathouse, the dwelling house chimney and the privy, plant and tend gardens, and take care of cows and other domestic animals. When the Plum Island lights were built, the maximum pay per year for a lighthouse keeper was $600, a rate that stayed the same for 20 years. While the keeper was often assisted by his wife, no extra pay was allocated for her work. In 1897, Martin Knudsen lit the Plum Island range lights for the first time, and in subsequent years he set a formidable standard for the keepers who followed. In fact, he was decorated with a silver medal for his bravery in rescuing those aboard the schooner A.P. Nichols, which shipwrecked in Port de Mort. The roster of Wickies who served after Knudsen included names that are still heard on Washington Island and in Door County, including Roan, Jessen, Kincaid, Cornell, Lockhart, Anderson, Hansen, Betts, Boschka, and many others. Charlie Boschka was the longest-serving keeper with 14 years of service. In 1939, the United States Coast Guard took over the duties of the lighthouse keepers, and Martin Knudsen, Jr. was one of the first coasties assigned to Plum Island.